Warning: Supernatural: The Crossroads contains adult language and discussions. If you're easily offended, do not continue to listen.
Oh, Dad. Oh, Dad. Oh, Dad. I went to the crossroads. Fell down on my
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Supernatural: The Crossroads on Rain Man Digital, Crossroads 003. As always, I'm your host, Thomas Cowley. Joined with me today is Ryan Denton.
Hello, hello.
And Michael Flores. Working in our production booth more so now, because apparently that's where he wants to go with his career.
He's doing a lot of things. He's running Periscope.
Dude, he's got everything right now.
He's got
going
like 19
on.
screens in front of him. He's like the dude in the second Matrix. You know, has all the screens.
Oh, isn't that the last one?
Or the last? I don't know.
Whatever.
Lost track.
This isn't a Matrix show.
Not.
Supernatural: The Crossroads. Guys, this is a live show for us if you're listening to us right now, or through the chat room talking to us. You can listen. Mike, what is the different ways? There's TuneIn. There's
Wait, you were going to go on there and do something?
Site. He was going to go in and do something. I pulled him back.
TuneIn.com, search Supernatural: The Crossroads, as well as the Rain Man digital app. You can download in the iTunes store, as well as or iTunes App Store, as well as Google Play. Just search Rain Man Digital. Click on channel 002.
There we go. He's our commercial guy now, too.
Yes. He's all of our weird voices, too, for like the pre...
Well, yeah, all the pre-show stuff. We were on Periscope. If you guys are listening live and did not know that, you can check us out on Periscope right now. Hi.
You can see
waving
us.
to the camera.
Yeah.
Ryan's dance waving, whatever that is.
This is like, it's one of those things that they are in front of like used car lots.
Wacky inflatable arm.
Yeah, the arm things. That's what I'm doing.
So, guys, we're going back to our To Hell With Hellatus. It's been a couple weeks, I believe, but we had 3 shows last month. But a couple weeks since we've been doing a traditional episode in which we sit down and get into lore and discussion and craziness and all the stuff that we normally do.
It has felt that we've been gone for a long time, just because the 3 shows were just they were kind of like almost like, hey, we do a show and then run away from it. Like it's been like a 45-minute, you know what I mean? It's like a parachute show, man. It wasn't like one of those 3-hour marathon shows that we do. They've been hour shows and then done.
Yeah. I feel like this latest has been longer, and it's because of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is no fun.
Yeah. So with this one, guys, we are going into... We talked before about angels, and that being kind of the theme for our Hellatus a couple episodes ago.
Yes.
And the discussion sparked originally from season 10, where, Death was talking about the darkness and that God and all his angels had to fight against it just to keep it locked away and at bay. So we were like, well, what can we learn about the angels from previous episodes that may tie into this that we may not have been paying attention to before? So with that as a thought, we're starting with What Better Place, the first appearance of angels, season 4's premiere, Lazarus Rising.
Yes.
Which was also the first appearance of Castiel, a fan favorite.
Yay!
Yeah. Huzzah!
Before he got mugged.
Yeah, and it's sad.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was going to say, before we do that, though, we got some news primarily. He got mugged just, what was it, MinnesotaCon?
Yeah.
MinCon, is that what it's called?
MinCon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sexist.
Why did that make me laugh?
Should be called MinCon.
I'm not sure why that made me laugh so much. I'm bad.
Yeah, Supernatural fan favorite and series regular Misha Collins was mugged and beaten up during his trip to Supernatural convention, MinCon, which Mike thinks is racist, in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
How depressing did that sound, though? He was mugged and beaten up.
I know, right?
God, that's depressing sounding. That just sounds horrible.
I find it a little darkly funny, though, for 2 reasons. One, the French Connection episode
Right.
where he's mugged,
Where he actually
he's
is
murdered,
mugged.
Right.
but you know,
now that we know he's okay, we can
we can
jokes
laugh
like
a little
that.
bit
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also, we had made jokes way before you've been a long-time listener that Ryan was going to follow him down a dark alley to get him to come on the show.
Yeah.
Dude, what? Okay.
So the first thing I thought when this hit the
thought it
fan,
was me?
I was like, oh, that's Ryan.
You're like, why is Ryan in Minnesota? That's so
Yeah.
weird.
that's
Dude, I'm all about mugging people.
That's the first thing I thought.
That's real nice.
You know, Ryan Saul straight out of Compton. Now he's gonna act it out now.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Because I'm so urban.
Urban Ryan. If you listen to the
Hashtag
pre-show,
Urban Ryan.
the pre-show on Periscope, you would know that what that joke was.
So it's
You're
stupid.
guilting people 10 minutes into a
yeah.
live broadcast.
Of course.
So he had of course, he's all on Twitter, an outpouring of love from his fans, talking about how apparently he got hit in I guess his lip was bruised so badly he couldn't smile, which a lot of people were upset about.
Yeah.
When do you not see that guy smiling?
I mean, I could think of some scenarios where he probably wasn't smiling. He probably wasn't smiling when he was getting mugged.
Yeah.
I mean, just saying.
No, those pearly whites. At least they didn't get broken out.
That's true.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
I mean, this is, you think about it, and God, it's a big deal, man. Like, you know, this doesn't happen every day. I mean, it happens every day, but it doesn't happen every day to somebody like an actor or celebrity, especially
Right.
someone who's so connected to, that we all feel so connected to because of the shows and the
his
fandom.
Just him interacting with people.
And yeah, it makes you like, God, how do you, like, what a sucky world, man. One false move, and this could be the most depressing show
Well, do you think
of our broadcast could have been saying, hey guys, Misha Collins died.
Dude.
Well,
Can you imagine one false move? What if he didn't listen to them? What if they were like amped up on drugs? God, it just puts everything in perspective.
My question is like, did they target him because they knew he was Misha, or did they just target him because they just wanted to mug someone?
I would imagine just they wanted to mug somebody.
What if they do you think they knew like halfway through? Oh shit, that's
Castiel.
I'm a fan of
He's
the
gonna
show.
burn our eyeballs
As he
out.
hits him.
Shit. Yeah, that would.
I'm gonna write you down to perdition.
Apparently. No, but apparently there was questions asked to Jared and Jensen about the mugging, and somebody proposed the question like, why was I just saw this on Reddit, so I don't know the whole story to it, but why wasn't Oshrik Chow mugged as well? I guess maybe he was in the area, or he could have been a target as well.
Well, he knows.
Wait, who was?
Kevin.
Oh, Ostrich. Okay.
Yeah,
I missed that part. Sorry.
But doesn't Kevin know karate?
But that's the thing. Jared and Jensen said because they would have had broken arms, or because they would have had dislocated shoulders, like Jared did.
What are you trying to say? Trying to say Misha can't fight?
No, but they're saying that Ostrich can.
Oh yeah.
You know, I wasn't joking. Like, he does know. I think pretty sure he knows karate.
By the way, fans of his will have seen. You know how he always dresses up for the cons.
Yeah,
he was dressed up as
look
Goku.
At Maddie in the chat room.
Dope.
Maddie in the chat room just said they were meth heads and they wanted money.
Yeah. See.
Oh well, there you go. Wow.
So,
God,
Maddie,
dude.
how much did you pay them?
You know what? That could have meth heads, dude. They kill people every day for for drugs and money.
Yeah,
they're not even in control of their faculties.
Some
all
of them
the time.
suck some dick for some. I'll suck your dick, man.
That's why we don't do live shows all the time.
Yeah.
What? I'm just saying that happens, dude.
But I'm just saying that could have ended.
It could have been so much worse.
It could have been
much worse. I mean, I guarantee you that he's just, after it was all said and done, he's the reason why he said, "Hey, everything's fine," is because he probably felt relieved that nothing else happened.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. I mean, they could have. What if they did recognize him too, and then it could have even gotten worse? Like maybe they didn't have any intentions of killing him, but because they'd recognized him, they thought maybe it'd be too much of a high profile theft.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? And then they decide, God, it's dark, man, but it's reality.
It could have just been a whole lot worse news for us to report on. You know, and that's that's what kind of hits you. It's like, yes, we can, like you said, we can joke now because he's okay, but it could have been bad. Could have
been way worse. But thankfully, you know, he's beaten up a bit, but he'll be okay. He'll be on the show still. He had to miss a scheduled panel, I believe that Saturday, with Jared and Jensen.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, all things considered, that's a small price to pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Misha Collins lives matter. I'm going to start that hashtag.
Wouldn't it be life matters, though?
Yeah, lives.
No, still lives, despite it being one person.
Angel
lives matter.
Yeah, angel lives matter.
There you go. In other news, Supernatural is embracing the darkness and the Impala in season 11.
Finally.
Yeah, it feels like a long time. It does feel like a long time since the car's been really part of the show.
On.
Like they drive it around, obviously, but I remember, especially seasons 1 through 5, like that was
a character.
They were living in that thing, dude.
Specifically in season 5, at the finale, they really solidify the fact that Kripke did view this as a character.
Yeah, and it hasn't gotten that attention in a long time.
I mean, did you guys? I don't know if you saw it, but on Jensen's Facebook page, he posted a picture of him sitting in this rusted out car that has like weeds and stuff growing in it. And it was the original Impala from the first season, the one that gets hit by the truck.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, dude, I haven't seen this thing since.
Wait, it was just left there?
Yeah. So it's in like a junkyard, and it's sitting there, and it's just rusted out and crunch. I mean, it's crunched, dude. It's
right
in like it's shitty shape. And I haven't seen this thing in 9 years.
Wow.
And it was just like, dude, it was super cool, like to see him sitting in it.
That's cool.
But
so the interview talked to Jeremy Carver, as well as, let me get the exact name here.
Andrew Dabb.
Andrew Dabb, thank you. About season 10 and some of the stuff. What makes the darkness unlike any other threat the Winchesters have faced? Carver said, for starters, it becomes fully apparent what the darkness wants. It's not just a threat for the boys, but a threat to angels and demons as well. In some ways, it's a more global threat. I say that, and it sounds a big and comic booky almost, but there's certain incredibly related things about the darkness that grounds it in the way that Supernatural does. Once we fully start to understand what the darkness is all about, everybody is going to realize there's a very relatable story here and a lot of unfinished business for the darkness side. I don't think that the darkness thinks that the darkness is a threat at all. Hopefully, sometimes that is the best big bad. They think they are the hero of their own story, which is something that I've heard many times. Nobody thinks they're the villain.
You say that a lot on this show.
Exactly.
Wow. That makes you start...
I said that about Lucifer.
I mean, the way they're... just by that little statement, that little tidbits of information that Carver gave away, it makes you look at the potentially what the darkness can
in a whole
be.
New way.
Yeah, a whole new way.
A whole new light.
Yeah. It really does.
We're viewing the darkness in a whole new light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I do like the idea that it could be relatable in some way, because I think, I don't know, I'm mixed, because we've said before that
you don't need to make villains always relatable either.
No, you don't.
I mean,
and I don't think they've done that too much in Supernatural. Other shows have done that. I don't think Supernatural is made, like, for example, Lucifer, he wasn't relatable. I mean, he was a bit with the brother thing, but it wasn't like we felt sorry for him. It wasn't the overarching theme. It wasn't until season 5 that we fully understood and realized the background of Lucifer and his brothers.
Right.
It wasn't, so in that sense, yes, he was relatable in a very big way, especially if you have siblings and family. It tied into that whole entire overarching theme of family and Supernatural, but it wasn't from the conception. It wasn't like, oh, poor Lucifer, he's just misunderstood. It wasn't about that.
No, it wasn't that he's a misunderstood monster, but
right.
I would say that you could see where he came from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why he did what he did.
Right.
But while the idea of it being relatable is kind of cool, I like more the idea that it doesn't think it's the enemy.
Well, here's the thing, dude. Like, I actually prefer relatable villains, because they get to the point where it's like you see their side and you start to root. I mean, honestly, can I say that Crowley started, like, that's how they turned him into what he is?
They made him relatable.
Yes, and that's the thing. I think obviously he's not. I don't consider Crowley a villain anymore.
Right.
I mean,
he's
throwing
an
up
anti-hero, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's an anti-hero.
Reluctantly helps.
But he's went from villain to a little relatable to the anti-hero.
Right.
You know, and he's gone through all those. I prefer that.
Yeah.
But I don't. I mean, the darkness.
That's almost why.
Until we see like what it actually is. Like, is it just a cloud?
That's almost why I'd rather have the darkness be this omnipresent evil force of like galactic scale, because we have done that relatable villain and seen him transform into something else.
I hope darkness isn't the way it sounds. Almost sounds like an influence.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it isn't like an influence.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like not a possession
force that affects the world.
It affects people. Like how it said, how it doesn't even know if it's a good or a bad thing.
Well, the way
what Carver just said.
I want it to be like, Lovecraftian, beyond the veil of understanding.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't care about you.
I want it to be the ultimate evil, where it had no, like with Lucifer, where we did understand his story. I want it to be just a bad person, a bad individual, a bad entity.
I want to feel, but I also want, relatable or not, I want to feel that sense of world-ending calamity that was season 5.
I think honestly, you have to. I mean, obviously we haven't seen it yet, but I think you have to put a face on something like that.
I feel like that takes away from it.
But the thing is, if you make it just a mist, or a cloud,
that's why I really don't know what they're going to do with it.
That's the thing. Like, you see that and you go, well, how the hell do you fight that? And you almost have to put a face on it. I know that
as long as
stupid.
It's not a meat suit, Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, that I agree too. I mean, I'm not
maybe
saying
it just turns
it's
every town into Silent Hill.
I mean, that would
Resident
be
Evil,
kind of
and everything goes to hell.
See, you know what? That would be interesting. But isn't that kind of like the Horsemen? The Horsemen were kind of an influence.
They affected what they were around.
The Horsemen were well done, though, I thought.
Oh, absolutely.
They should have.
The cars are the horses.
There were
and
very few issues that I ever had with seasons 1 through 5.
Yeah. Speaking of our issues as fans, Supernatural fans are extremely passionate about the show and must give you a lot of suggestions. In what ways have you taken them into consideration? Carver says, absolutely. It's a tricky line. We do our hardest to tell a story that we think is the most dramatically satisfying. Clearly, you're going to do stuff for drama's sake that are going to anger some people or make some people happy. Some people like to see more of the down moments with the boys. What are they like when they are not actually hunting? We are doing an entire episode in the Impala. That's going to be episode 4.
Oh, nice.
You know how the boys decide they are going to... how the boys are going to decide to do a case, and you cut to them in suits walking up? Well, what if you stayed in the car another 10 minutes and watched them talk about what regular people talk about? It's a very bonding, very real, grounded look at the brothers.
So, hold on. Now, I am excited about that episode because I love the car. That seems like it might actually just be a filler episode.
You know what?
That could go either way.
I could see totally where you're coming from with that, but at the same time, the writer in me looks at creativity, and it makes me think these are the writers trying to do something different. When I hear something like that, it reminds me of what Vince Gilligan did for Breaking Bad when they were over budget, and he did the entire episode where Bryan Cranston's character was infatuated with getting a fly outside of the meth, whatever you want to call it, where they did the drugs.
The cook station.
The lab. The entire episode was about this fly. And they only did that because of budget restraints, and it made the writers clamp down and get really creative with their writing to how you're going to make an episode interesting where you're only inside this lab and Bryan Cranston is running around after a fly. Those type of stories, bringing it back to Supernatural, being in the Impala, if the writers are giving themselves those type of challenges, I look at that as something kind of cool, and I actually praise the writers for doing that because they're looking for something new, challenging themselves to tell. Because if you're telling a story, 45 minutes of story in the Impala, you're going to have to really pull out the stops and really bring out the creative juices, or else it's going to suck.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I said it could go either way. Either it'll be a filler episode and kind of boring because they won't be able to quite pull that off.
Yeah.
Or I think it could be one of their better episodes because
I have a feeling it will be.
They have only the one space, so your dialogue has to be better. The little things you can show us have to be more convincing and compelling. A good example for people who are Supernatural fans and other shows, Doctor Who has an episode Midnight. I know you don't like it. Bear with me,
dude. We are both on the.
I know
we are both on the shit page on that one. Dude.
I know you are. But Midnight is an episode where it takes place solely in the ship on this one planet with like 8 characters, and the whole thing is about a presence that starts to control one or more people, and they never leave the room.
So it's Clue.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, that's the whole idea, is that you can do a great job
all
with
over
that.
Your entire
I know, right?
Clue. So it's an episode of Clue.
When there's multiple different stories with different endings, and they go through the entire house. Yeah,
so it's Colonel Mustard with the candlestick in the library.
Now, I honestly think, just by what Carver said, the fact that he brought to light and actually decided to talk about episode 4 and its pertainment to the Impala. To me, that makes me think that they're really putting a lot of emphasis on an episode for a specific reason. You're not going to focus on the Impala, put the brothers in the Impala for an entire episode, and it not be good.
Exactly.
It would be one of those episodes where I think people would riot and be like, what the hell, dude? Really?
Well, here's the thing, dude. And this is the way I'm looking at it. I mean, I'm going to throw this out real quick. I could see it going away where it could be a good episode, but this is Supernatural, and for them to do like I don't want to use the word artsy because that's kind of creepy, but they're going to have to really write the shit out of this, dude, for it to be good. I mean,
limited scope means you have to be more creative.
I just see it being a filler, dude.
I'm hoping that'll have
not either,
good.
but that's the way I see it going. So.
All right, guys, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will get into our discussion of Season 4, Episode 1, Lazarus Rising, as well as Angels as a whole, and what that could mean for the darkness in just a minute.
Saturday at 10 a.m., The Rain Man Show is back on Imperial Valley's premier talk radio station, KROP, AM 1300.
Who hasn't been raped by Bill Cosby?
Is someone tracking all the numbers? I'm just
sure?
curious.
Are you sure, Thomas?
Sure.
Are you sure?
I'm
because
pretty sure. You never know. I could have been asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been a really vivid dream.
Like, how many people don't know when you think about it? How many people don't know? When you think about it, how many people did he drug that just don't remember because they were drugged? I mean, pretty soon they're gonna have to start like a toll-free hotline to deal with depression for the people who weren't raped because they want to know what's wrong with them. It's a blow on their self-esteem. They're like, why wasn't I raped by Bill Cosby?
Yeah,
I'm 1 out of a million.
The Rain Man Show on KROP AM 1300.
iHome. What do we have? We have iHome. iHome has become the #1 brand in the iPod speaker market, and it continues to be the #1 brand in digital player speakers. iHome now offers full lines of alarm clocks, clock radios, portable speakers, home audio systems, headphones, and a licensed line of smartphone, tablet, and computer accessories. Just by listening to this broadcast, all Rain Man listeners get a special listener-exclusive discount. So go to iHomeAudio.com and at checkout, just enter offer code RAINMAN. That's RAINMAN at checkout. That's RAINMAN.
Here's a special preview of Rain Man's Spotlight interview with Nikki Acox.
Oh, this is natural. It's a natural question. You said you like to have Jensen in your face for 13 hours, so let's just go with this for a moment.
Nothing wrong with it.
Was there? No, not at all. Was there any sparks on set with any of the two gentlemen?
I don't pay attention to much of the on-set romances and stuff. I've never been that big on it. I just go on and work, but. As far as
you should see her, you should see her on Skype right now, Thomas. She's getting really fidgety. She's playing with her hat. She does.
Is that a tell?
I thought they were both hot.
Yeah,
if that's chemistry. There was no hooking up, as happens a lot for me with those two on that particular set.
Wait, on that particular set? Okay.
On that particular set with those two guys. But no, I will tell you, I think I'm a little bit older than them. Maybe a little. Really? I think I'm quite a bit older than Jared. And a good amount older than Jensen. And I think I did feel a little more on the little brother side.
Really?
They were just acted the exact same as my brothers. So it was really hard for me to think of them as anything more than that. However, I won't lie. I did, when I first walked on the set, the first one I saw was Jensen, and he was actually in jeans and some sort of ripped up shirt. I don't know what he was shooting, but I thought, I thought that's a really hot grip guy.
That's a really hot little brother.
The Rain Man Show. The Rain Man Show.
I'm Crowley. I run hell.
Yes. Of course, I agree. 100%. High time we met.
To Hell With Hellatus.
Welcome back, everyone, to Supernatural: The Crossroads. Now we get into the meat of the episode where we talk about Lazarus Rising, Season 4, premiere episode, Episode 1, the introduction of angels, Castiel, and a metric fuckload of new lore.
Yes.
Right?
Metric fuckload.
Well, I mean, you start the episode with, which I thought was a really good start from where we had left off with Season 3, the Dean's eyes going back and forth, hearing these hellish noises, blackness and red and just flashing lights and stuff. I liked that beginning bit because it did. I love it when a show or a movie series like connects the most recent thing you saw directly to the upcoming thing rather than a jump in time.
We've talked about it before. I mean, all the time actually, where we like that they pick directly up after the last episode, and it's very refreshing when you're watching and you're like, okay, I don't have to like, oh, what happened in that week that I didn't see, like. So I agree with you, Thomas. I do agree that I like when it picks right back up, because then you don't feel like you've missed anything.
Exactly. And I think that also helped add to the idea, the disorientation of Dean with that, because we know he spent time in hell, torturing people and all that stuff, but the idea that he goes from right there to in the casket, and like, what the fuck happened? Where am I? I think that helps draw you in. I
think the one part about that first opening scene of that episode is you opening your eyes and going, well, where the fuck am I? And then he has his lighter and he lights a lighter and you see that you're in a pine casket, a coffin.
How much would you crap yourself?
Dude, I'm not,
roll over, go to sleep.
I'm not claustrophobic or anything. I mean, I don't think I am.
Listen, as long as you were trained by the Pai Mei, you'd be able to get out of there. Well,
easily. When I see that scene, it's so Kill Bill, dude. I was waiting for him to start doing the punches, like on the.
That's no harm, no foul. As long as the Pai Mei trains you, you're good to go. You can get out of there.
Here's what I don't understand is you're 6 feet in the ground, okay? So you got to climb through 6 feet of dirt. Pretty sure that's not easy.
Here's the even better. I mean, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. Castiel, if you rescue him, why did you put him back in a box? Just bring him, bring him stateside.
I rose you from perdition and put you 6 feet under. It's like, come on, man.
Castiel doesn't understand the pizza guy porn parody.
Right.
There's no way he understands. Like, I put him back where he was in the ground. Yeah. God damn it, Cass. Like,
hey,
they don't think
say,
that far.
Hey, don't say GD, Cass. Cass wouldn't like that.
Oh, sorry. This was back when we thought that God still cared at this point, and the angels were under his rule.
He actually cared at this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what you have planned, Thomas, but what I would do is, because we are in a time restraints here, is I would jump into beginning with the angelic side of things, the most basic of terms, and then we'll go into the episode.
You want to go with just lore first?
I want to, not all of it, but just up until you see the most basic of terms, and then we go into the synapses. Go in that order, and then once we're in it, it doesn't matter what order we go in after that, just because I want to make sure we set the tone.
Okay.
Because with this time, I want to focus on the angel side of things and not so much on the episode itself.
Got it. So, guys, obviously anybody who's a fan of the show knows the angel, being created by God, is able to manifest physically on Earth by occupying a vessel.
Yep.
And during God's long absence, angels became the caretakers and rulers of heaven. And that's an interesting thing that I thought Supernatural did very well. That kind of made them really powerful, but also gave them a little bit of a drawback that they needed a vessel. They couldn't just manifest and show up. And because, like Castiel said, his real size is like the Chrysler Building or whatever.
Well, I mean, and his voice, his real voice would kill you.
That way you get across, and just by looking at him, they go blind. I like that they did that to get across the idea that they're incredibly powerful, but at the same time have limits. Obviously the vessel. Although,
them being in a vessel just made it more, digestible for audience,
and budgetary reasons. But the fact that they couldn't just take someone over, they couldn't just show up and do whatever they wanted. They needed permission. They were still soldiers seeking to fill out the paperwork.
And that's something that is actually taken from actual, angelic, if you want to call it angelic mythology. The permission. Not all mythology actually explains it in those terms, because there's so much scattered mythology pertaining to angels that from all types of different religions, different versions of Judaism,
Christian, Judeo-Christian, Judaism.
Yeah.
Even beyond that.
One thing that I thought was very interesting was taken from the biblical side of things, the Christian side of things, is the fact that you have to occupy a vessel. Now, but they never quite said why necessarily. Well, because if you take it from the Bible standpoint, if you want to get into the biblical side of things, after the Nephilim and the Grigori fiasco, if you read that element of that side of the mythology, they weren't allowed on the earth anymore.
Right.
Because of them taking human form and laying down with human women, having kids, which in essence brought about the Nephilim. So in a lot of sense, or in a biblical standpoint, a lot of times you'll read these stories, and that's the reason why they couldn't even be on Earth anymore.
Right.
In their physical form. Now they can still influence and communicate. And I always thought that was an interesting way where how Kripke brought them in. If you see how Carver tied it in with the Grigori years later. Again, I don't know if that's the route they're going, but obviously
it's a good route to explore potentially.
Right, because you see in last season with the Grigori, they actually specifically mentioned that and how they abused their power and how they almost like leached on, almost like a parasite. They would leech on humans and eat their soul, right?
Right.
Yes.
Feed on their soul.
Feed on their soul, yeah.
Right. Which, honestly, I mean, some people may disagree with this, but I liked that idea that the Grigori abused the power, because their whole time the angels are portrayed as soldiers. And there are many, many stories of soldiers abusing power, both in real life and in fiction.
Right.
That they come in, they have the ability, so they just do what they want, and everyone else suffers for it. Whether you're talking Apocalypse Now, the news, whatever you want to go with. I liked that idea, and then that directly results in why we don't just have them on Earth helping us, why faith is what it is, that it's based purely on belief, and there is no proof to it anymore because it's been lost to the ages.
Yeah.
I liked all that.
Well, something that I always found interesting was in that episode where Castiel takes Dean back in time.
Yeah.
And you find that I think it was Uriel was talking to
Anna and Uriel.
Yeah, and they said, you're not supposed to be down here at this time.
Yep.
Something about that line, they didn't need to explain it, but it resonated and said so much. What are you doing here? First off, you're not the right Anna. So secondly, what are you doing down here? And that just resonated. And I don't think did we ever hear as to why they were not allowed down at that time? We never did we? If you guys in the chat room
somebody in the chat room knows, let us know. But I don't believe they had a specific reason other than
God didn't want them down there.
Maybe
at that point,
it does.
At that time.
One of the things,
is that correct? Somebody says
one of the things that
I don't know.
I really enjoy it just in angels in general and supernatural is that they're not the typical, way you perceive or have seen what angels should be. They're not good guys. They're not, oh my gosh, this angel's going to save me. They're, for the lack of a better word, they can be assholes.
Well, that's something that's been go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, I think that right there changes your perspective of angels right off the bat. Yes, we get a good one with the first introduction with Cass, but it's really interesting to me that they went a completely opposite route of what you're used to with angels, and a complete different angle. Well, that's on that concept or genre, whatever you want to call it.
That's something that Kripke had made note of way back. If anybody remembers season 2, episode 13, Houses of the Holy, that's the one where they think an angel is telling them to kill people.
Right.
Turns out to be a ghost.
Right.
Sam has a faith that Dean does not, and then that guy gets killed by what Dean believes to be like just an act of God in that car accident, which was like I remember the first time thinking of like angels in heaven and hell being a part, because before I just went into supernatural thinking it's just hell. This is a universe where things just suck.
Yeah.
But in that episode, while Sam's talking to a priest, he talks about the angels themselves and how he's like, well, they were supposed to be more warriors, right? And the father went into like, well, we like to think of them as, these caring individuals who are only there to help you, but referencing in season 2 that they are soldiers, and that's what they've always meant to be.
Well, even much of, and again, this is all up for interpretation, but much of the inspiration for Kripke's angels, I think a lot of people, and me specifically, when you hear angels, you immediately, I think New Testament, they're good, they're happy, they're there to help you, whereas many, specifically some of the names, because there's only 3 angel names have ever been listed in the Bible, meaning the canon, what the Pope and the Catholic Church consider biblical canon. It's only been actual 3 names. Okay, so many of these other angelic names are actually taken from Mesopotamian mythology and mysticism. Uriel is actually from Mesopotamian mysticism.
Right.
And those angels, if you read up on them, those angels are much like Greek and Roman god stories, where they're petty, they're cruel, they serve God, but they're not the friendly, hey, we're floating on a cloud and we're here to help you.
The Bible has 4, technically, or no?
It's Michael, Raphael,
Lucifer
and
Gabriel.
Lucifer's not technically considered an angel. Yeah, he is in the Bible, but he's Lucifer. You know, he is an angel. Yeah. But when you read up on canon, they usually typically just call him the father of lies, the serpent, the devil. Yes, he is an angel.
Yeah.
But outside of him, there's Gabriel,
Raphael, and Michael. The archangels, the ones we actually know.
And all the other names that they take, a lot of it, even up to now, season 10, a lot of these angelic names are taken from Judeo beliefs, Judaism, Kabbalah. Stuff like that. It's actually not even. It predates Christianity. A lot of the stories are the angel names, including a lot of them are also from the Dead Sea Scrolls, which I've read those. They're interesting as hell. If you want to really get into like angel lore and side stories, if you're into that like mysticism, biblical mysticism, read the Dead Sea Scrolls. There's so much in there that's so interesting. I mean, I don't believe in God and all that stuff, but I believe in something, and those stories are interesting as hell.
Well, that's one thing I liked about what Kripke did with supernatural and angel lore, the idea that, like I think anything would be if it was real, if it was someday proven to us, I think it would be half the stuff you guys believe, half the lore you have is garbage.
Right. Not real.
It's all these bits and pieces that have been filtered through the telephone game of time.
Right. No, time is real.
That become...
My faith is real.
That become skewed, You started out at one point, and then the truth was something based off that, and then it got warped as time went on. And I like the idea that Christianity wasn't 100% right, and Judeo-Christian belief isn't 100% right. And it's all these different things.
A lot of it mix and matches and goes together, yeah. And you can kind of piece together a solid story for almost every religion. Almost every religion, you can take some, parts of it and see this. There's so many similarities. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. While I was doing research for the past couple of weeks and a lot of this angel stuff, I mean, a lot of these names that Kripke and Carver and the writers took aren't necessarily even Christianity. We always say Christian, but a lot of it just predates Christianity. So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. I actually found a scary ass book. I
saw that.
Oh, dude, it was creepy.
Dude, do you have that or did you find that?
No, I was thinking of ordering it. It's on eBay.
I want that.
Oh my God, I would not want to own that.
Dude.
This book actually has summons.
No, it's like it's like one of Bobby's books. Like it's like the real thing.
You can summon Castiel. According to this,
so cool.
The angel of Castiel, it's spelled, I believe, Castiel, like C-A-S-S.
No T.
No T, yeah. And it's, there's an actual way, supposedly, that you can actually summon Castiel, the angel.
If you buy it, I'll summon him. I'll do it.
No, thank you. I don't want to have anything to do
on the show anymore.
I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Come on, dude.
He got really weird, and he just left one day saying he had a mission from God.
Yeah.
So with that, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll get right back.
No break. Just we can jump into the synopsis now.
I'm going to...
Moving on. Sorry. I need to get another one.
You need this whiteboard over here.
I need I'm going to be like a stewardess. Just waving all kinds of different...
Your exits are in either... The closest exit may be in your rear.
For some reason, guys, Michael's telling us the exit to the studio. You just move into the synopsis now. Yeah.
You want me to...
Yeah, Ryan, you got the synopsis. Read that.
So this is the synopsis for this episode for Lazarus Rising. When Dean wakes up in the woods, no longer in hell, he goes to find Sam and Bobby. After performing the standard checks to make sure Dean is Dean, the trio speculate how and why Dean returned. After visiting a psychic friend of Bobby's, Pamela, they discover this creature is called Castiel, but also this is a very powerful. A single glimpse burn out Pamela's eyes. After summoning Castiel in a warehouse, after rock salt and Ruby's knife prove ineffective, Dean asks who he is. To which Castiel replied,
"This is terribly written. I don't know where I got this.
I know, right? Where'd you?
I think I put it in there to just F up Ryan.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. To which he knew I wasn't going to talk much, so he's like, "I'm going to fuck up whatever he does."
I think my uncle Chuke wrote this.
Castiel.
He went to a warehouse.
It was my hair that was making me so hot. To which Castiel replied that I am the one who gripped you tight and raised you from perdition. Confused, Dean presses what Castiel means by this. And by showing Dean the shadows of his wings, Castiel convinces the hunter that he is an angel, and that God has worked for Dean. What the? God
has worked for Dean to do today, Junior.
I don't even know where I got this. Sorry, guys.
Dude, I was it started. I'm like, wow, an actual synopsis, and then I kept. And
if you see the highlighted text, you can tell it was copy and pasted, and I don't know where I got it from. Actually,
dude, plagiarism to the max.
Oh, stupid plagiarism.
You plagiarize a piece of shit.
You need to look up plagiarism.
Nobody wants to claim that.
Yeah.
That was
no.
I think this was from the. I think this was from the Mexican Super Wiki.
Google translated that. Did you?
Oh, that's so bad.
All right.
Anyways,
now, I remember, and I guarantee so many people do, watching this episode. We only had, the knife and a couple of tools at our disposal at that time to like take on the monsters that had been created in the world. And then when he stabs him with the knife, and he just doesn't even flinch.
Well, the thing that kills me, because I rewatched this episode again because I hadn't seen it in a while, and they're sitting in the diner and they're surrounded, like they get surrounded by 4 demons, and the looks on their faces are like, "Holy shit, we're fucked." Whereas now, if Sam and Dean were in a diner with 4 demons, they'd be like, "What are you guys? Why are you here?
Was this amateur hour?
Yeah, why are you guys here? We're gonna kill you." Like it just.
Well, if you remember, Dean did pimp slap that demon.
Oh, he did. He does reach. He does reach across and throw the fucking pimp hand.
I think she liked it.
I mean, I did.
I'm just gonna go on a limb there. Here.
I mean, I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I sit and watch.
That's not sexist, Thomas. Don't look at me like that. Just hashtag me MinCon.
Yeah, no kidding. No, but Castiel's like introduction, that all the lights are blowing out. He's just walking with purpose. You stab him with a knife that had at this point killed anything, and you had no idea what the hell to think.
I don't think there's ever been a moment like that.
No, not on the since then.
Where yes, there's a lot of cool moments in Supernatural. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think something like that. It just brought a whole new level to the world of Supernatural.
Game changer.
And I remember shifted. To this day when I watched that episode. It was obviously I was watching it live, and I was like, he was just walking. I had no idea who this guy was. I knew his hair looked cool. His hair was badass back then. His hair was cool. Like, who's his stylist? He comes walking up, and just the sound design. When he's walking, the slow little whispers that you hear in the left channel of the speaker. I mean, the sirens down, the drone, everything about the scene. We haven't seen anything like that to this point. And afterwards.
No, it was pretty fucking epic.
And that's the thing, too, is that nothing since then. Okay, Leviathans in Purgatory, introduced a new realm, theoretically. But we knew about Purgatory for a lot longer than we knew about Leviathans, and then they were only a one-season enemy. Season 8 is all about the trials, but it's, again, heaven and hell. 9 was heaven and hell until Cain, and this one was season 10 was much more personal until the darkness came out of nowhere. But this moment with Castiel is everything changed.
That
the
character
entire
reveal was
world
pretty dope, man.
Changed. Before that, I remember watching it. Before that, this world was just dark. There was only monsters, and then you killed things, and then eventually you died. And if you were a bad person, you went to hell. And if you were a good person, maybe you thought as a fan, well, maybe there's a heaven. But there was nothing that the hunters had found throughout years to prove that at that point.
Well, even Bobby. I mean, Bobby who was supposed to be, the dictionary of all things.
He had no idea.
I mean, even up until he died, he would pull things out of his ass where you'd be like, hey, oh yeah, I heard about this. Oh yeah, I heard about this. But with the angels, he just never heard
no idea. No one had any idea of what to do, who they were, how they worked, what their powers were.
I mean, they never even really alluded to angels except a couple times, I think in season 3, what you brought up earlier in the show.
Season 2 one. Yeah.
Was it season 2?
Season 2, yeah.
Where, and
it wasn't even angels. It was just like that maybe God was a thing.
Right. And they started, kind of showing you the side of Sam where he was kind of the one who wanted to believe.
Yeah.
But they didn't really say. I never thought angels were going to come about ever.
I know. I never did too.
So when it happened, I was like, wow.
See, coming from my point of view, which I kind of knew, because I watched it later than you guys.
Well, because you already knew angels probably were in the show, right?
I kind of already knew, but I think deep down, even though if I had watched it when you guys did, I would be like, well, there's demons and there's hell. There has to be another.
Not necessarily,
but that's just the way I would think, dude. Like, you can't have one without the other.
I agree, 100%. However, Kripke and the writers did a good job
of not
leading you down the opposite direction, because they even started the rumors of Lucifer. Right? Remember, was that in season 3 or was that season 4? Season 3. Remember when Dean kind of liked that one demon he didn't want to kill?
Yeah.
They started leading you down the fact that there's more to the demon world. Was that season 4?
Oh, God, I can't remember now. I need to know that now.
They started leading you down a path that you can tell. Now you go back and watch, and in retrospect, you can kind of see they were trying to lead you down another path of not necessarily, don't believe, hey, guys, there's no angels. Look over here. Look over here. Look over here, guys. There's no angels. So they kept trying to downplay it and show that there's evil, and that's it. In fact, Kripke, in an interview, said that the initial I don't know, 2 or 3 seasons, he wanted to give the impression that there was evilness, because he said his own personal belief is he doesn't believe angels exist. This is Kripke. Right. He believes demons exist and evilness exists, and angels in the sense of goodness act out through mankind. Like the good people in us, Sam and Dean, good individuals doing good things. Those are his versions of angels. Right. That's how he believes in. He believes in evil and he believes in goodness through mankind. And he said that was kind of the tone he wanted to do with the first few episodes, or the first 4 seasons, was there's demons and there's evilness, and that's that.
Yeah. The episode,
and the goodness is humans.
Exactly. And I bought into that completely as I watched the show. The episode that first mentions Lucifer, season 3, episode 4, the Sin City one, where it was like that hedonistic town and everyone was doing sinful things and nobody cared.
Yeah,
that was a good episode. Vegas.
Yeah, Sodom. Sodom and Gomorrah, my kind of town.
I think Rowena was there someplace.
I should have been there.
Possibly.
Yeah. So that was the thing, is like that whole... Good Lord. Really? No, but that... And the best thing for me, too, was not just that now we have angels and that means heaven, but that there, and when he says that God has work for you to do, that there is something that cares, there is a grand scheme to all of this. And I think it was a bit of a relief, even though watching the show, and I know it's a show, like the fact that Sam and Dean aren't just literally going through hell for nothing.
Yeah. Right.
But that there was a purpose to some of it.
Exactly, absolutely, and that's the same thing that I felt Dean. That at the very end of of this episode, Lazarus Rising, you could see his own face was. Dean wants to believe. He wants to believe there's a purpose. I think he's always wanted to have faith of some type, and when he realized there's an angel right in front of him, and that him and God have work for him to do, I remember his face. It was a different Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Completely.
He changed that night Castiel showed up.
Yeah, he did. He did ride him out of perdition.
Well, I mean, that's when Castiel started right there. So
there you go.
He has his handprint, his mark.
Speaking of that,
they didn't show where the other handprint was.
Much lower?
Yes, much
Looks
lower.
Looks like a tattoo now.
A little more below the belt area.
Oh my God!
Well, dude, he can't just grab him by his shoulder. He's got to grab him somewhere else to get him out.
Come on, Mike, you've done that position.
So he's got to rusty trombone him out of hell. Come on, right?
Why not?
He's gonna.
Dude, look, Jensen's a big guy. Dean's a big guy. He's going to need 2 hands.
Well, the angels do have to blow the horn, right? Isn't that like a warning they do before you can get out of the city?
The walls of Jericho or whatever.
That's just going too far, Ryan. Why do you always got to bring it down to a shit show?
Well, dude, I mean, I just figured he had to grab him somewhere else to get him out of hell. I mean, God, you guys are taking it to another level.
Well, the handprints that you brought it up.
Yeah,
that's something that I felt they kind of squandered.
Really? I didn't.
They never really brought it back.
Well, what do you need to elaborate on? Look, he grabbed him, he burned him, and then that's it.
I felt there was more of they could have used. I know they really brought the whole Dean and Castiel connection through seasons 4 and 5.
Yeah,
and they kind of let it go later on. But I felt that's a connection of sorts. And the way they just let it go out of nowhere, and we really never really knew what happened to the shoulder. Like, it just disappeared. And I know it was ambiguous as to how it's been
answered.
Not in an episode.
Not in an episode, but by,
Jensen
outside
at a
canon.
Comic-Con said something. I think he said that he also thinks that what it was when, I think Castiel cured him.
When Cass heals him at the finale of season 5, as he heals him of all wounds because he was brought back more powerful.
Right. See, I would have... I buy
because
that.
then you don't see it in season 6 when him and Lisa are together.
See, I buy that. Okay, I do.
Yeah.
However... I think it would have...
But it feels like it's squandered.
It would have been more relevant to me if it didn't go away. Let's say he can heal everything because he grabbed his soul, in essence, out of hell. Yeah, but he isn't physically in hell. His soul is in hell. So I would think that type of mark would be a mark on his soul. An angel is touching you.
Right,
so
but if it's a mark, I get what you're saying.
It would be cooler if it never went away.
Yeah. I get what you're saying about a mark on his soul, but then again, you look at, like, say, for example... the mark of Cain. Same thing.
That's a curse.
But it's the same type of mark. I mean, if you look at...
it's totally different. It's a curse.
The look of the item.
The look of it is what I meant. If you look at the way the mark of Cain looked and look at the way the handprint looked, they look pretty damn...
flesh raised
They look pretty
aspect.
Damn close. Yeah. Here's the thing. I understand what you're saying about the like it being a mark on his soul, like having that handprint on his soul.
Yeah, not a bad thing. It's just
soul, not his body.
Constant reminder.
His physical body.
Yeah, I just think it kind of surpasses your physical body, and it's just a mark that's, that's just my own.
That's fine.
I just felt like it squandered it. Like, okay, think about it. Okay, so it cured all wounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when he did it at season 5, he cured them all physical wounds. So you're saying that Castiel has a physical hand?
Right.
That could touch a physical shoulder when his physical body wasn't in hell. That's why I would have liked it to be something more than just, hey, it's a wound on my shoulder, like a sunburn. It's peeling now.
It could have been so much more in a lot of ways. He says he's like, there's no more scars, there's no more cuts or bruises, no more torn ligaments. It's like all new body, essentially, except for that mark.
Yeah.
And like you said, if that is a mark on his soul, it's a constant reminder that he is the chosen one for Michael. His family is meant to be greater, to stop
do you see why?
Fuel the apocalypse.
You see what?
But also then, when you get rid of it, it loses some of that impact of how big it was at the time. That constant physical reminder. But also then, I think it could have, like Ryan said, with the curse affecting it, that could have been some cool thing to play into later. Maybe the only saving thing from the curse consuming him is that his soul was marked by an angel. But that he was special.
He was touched by an angel.
That he was touched by an angel.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal.
Thing.
That's a big deal.
No,
I just wish... I don't ever fault Kripke in anything he does. That's just one thing I felt like... and maybe because season 5 was going to be the ending.
Yeah.
Maybe,
and that's why it makes
he thought,
sense.
hey... Look he's healed. It's gone. It's done. But I think if Kripke didn't
think honestly
he was going to end, I don't think he would have ever healed that, honestly.
Well, it was never written into an explanation. It was talked about afterwards, and that Castiel healing him is the used excuse.
Right.
To be frank, it feels just like another thing that Gamble was not exactly on top of at the time.
It got
trying
Gambleized.
to take over. It got Gambleized.
Do you ever think that, and I'm just totally going off, but do you think maybe we might just be overanalyzing it, and the only reason they did it was to show that he's the one that pulled him out?
Well, the show is called Supernatural: The Crossroads. We all analyzing angel lore and mythology this episode. So yes, we could be overanalyzing it. So let's move on and end the show. Is that what you're saying, Ryan?
No, I think it's funny because I never looked at it the way you guys. I looked at it going, okay, he grabbed him and pulled him out of hell. That was it.
But you also like Jurassic World, so I mean, let's be honest.
Wow. Okay, so just gonna throw out Blowbos.
Lobos? What the hell's a Blobo?
Don't worry, you'll find out later. Throwing out low blows tonight, huh? All right, that's right. No, I'm gonna sit back here and just
so dumb.
Relax.
Blowbos.
Dude, I hope you save that because that was great.
That's gonna be a drop now.
Yes.
Oh my God. I don't know. Where were we at pertaining to the...
Just other aspects of Castiel as an entity. The fact that one thing I liked that made them also seem otherworldly compared to even demons was that when they try to talk to Dean, they just destroy every glass and eardrums and stuff.
That was one thing for me. I mean, I'm not very much on like analyzing or being very over technical about specific things, but that was the one thing in this episode.
Which one?
Castiel trying to communicate with Dean. Because the way he did it, the way it started, the TV flickering on and off, and then him hitting the high pitched noise that blew out basically the entire store. You're as a viewer, I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like something trying to harm him. And I know that's weird, but the the TV flickering on and off was the one thing that kind of threw that off for me. Like, why would the TV just flicker on and off for no reason? Like, it's not, if it had the power to blow up the room and kill him, it would have.
Right. Yeah, but I think that was actually. I think he was at risk. I think his life was at risk.
Was too.
Because Castiel, showing
didn't know.
Yeah, but that brings up another question for me. Thank you, Ryan. Is Castiel okay? So Castiel doesn't know he can't speak to. He doesn't know he can't speak to humans directly.
Right.
Okay. So that shows you how ancient and when's the last time he's been on Earth. And if he's ever truly communicated with humans, because he did say in this episode, which I don't think they've ever gone back to this. Now, Dean and Sam are very important characters in this world, okay? And Castiel says certain special people can view my true visage.
Right.
Okay?
And Sam and Dean can't.
And Sam and Dean can't. So who are these special people?
I think
they never really touched that.
Have they ever touched on that?
No, not at all. I don't think so.
They never said exactly, but my always takeaway was that it was people that angel could be a vessel for.
So possibly Jimmy Novak.
He can see it. His daughter can see it.
But
somebody who has that devout faith or is willing to be the vessel. Sam and Dean both were never really willing to be a vessel for Michael and Lucifer.
Right.
You have to accept it completely.
So that's
and at that
how
point, I think you then can see through the light and see this creature, because it's a faith-based thing. You have to have faith that this thing is kind and doesn't want to, control your life entirely, which is so crap. But
wasn't there an episode with Jimmy Novak, though, where he also was being spoken to like this, in this manner?
When you go back and see, they have an episode in season 4 where you see his flashback,
and you hear the drone and the
he looks
and the
up
siren
and he's
sound.
got the light and the ambiance of the heavenly glow and all that stuff.
Oh, that's right.
He can see it.
That's right.
Sam and Dean are embittered, and Jimmy Novak was a religious person.
Yeah.
Sam and Dean are drinkers and sinners and dark.
He goes, "Wait, you don't exist. You're not. That's not real." When he first meets
has
Cass,
no faith. Sam has some faith, but Sam's touched by darkness from birth.
Oh, he was touched by darkness.
Good God.
Yeah.
Everything was molested in Ryan's world.
Well, dude, what?
No, but I that's how I took that away. Was that you had to have faith with that belief
to see the true form.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could see that. I think I never thought that. I remember that line where he's like, only special people. I'm thinking when I think that, I'm thinking death, specific characters
well, other
that.
angels can see them, demons can see them.
Well, here's what I wanted to know. And this is something that I wish they would have touched. I don't know, and I may be off if they didn't touch it, but when another angel is standing next to another angel and they're both in vessels, do they see each other as their true form, or do they just see the vessel?
I think when Dean was going to hell at the end of season 3, he sees their face is messed up. You remember? He sees how wrong they are if they're a demon.
Yeah.
I always interpreted it like that. Not that there's some big calamitous-sized creature, sitting behind a human, but more that you can see the essence, like the wings are in shadow.
Right.
You can see something about them trapped in that human form.
I was just always curious about that because, as you know, you don't really see it from an angel's perspective. I mean, you do a little now with Cass.
Maybe they could do an episode called Angels POV.
Dude, I'm all about POV. I mean, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, Castiel's Gonzo cam. We can do that.
GoPro it up.
Ryan, shame on you for even knowing what that is. Thomas has no idea.
No, I'm oblivious on that
Ryan,
one.
you're a pervert.
Oh wow, news bulletin. Ryan's dirty.
Oh wow,
you like it? Look at
the chat room's just blowing up. I'm crying.
Oh wow, good job.
So funny.
Ryan totally derailed me. I had something I was going to say now. I can't even remember.
Always.
Right?
Yeah.
No, okay. I just think it would have been cool to see how they view each other. And same thing with demons. I think that was one of the things I always had a question about.
Yeah, they view each other as they see each other. I mean, I don't think demons see angels. I don't think they see angels because wouldn't they die too? Wouldn't they get blow up?
They know. They can tell when they're an angel, though.
Yeah, but there's been scenes where a demon doesn't know. What are you?
Well, no, wait a second now. No, because
you know what? I'm all confused. I don't even know.
Hold on. When they're sitting in the diner and they ask about Castiel to the demon, the demon's like, well, what didn't she say, what is it?
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah.
Because she didn't even know what it was.
You know what? But with that, you got to remember, angels have not walked the earth in, I don't know, thousands of years. So
the only
you got to remember these angels could be baby angels. They could be 20, 30 years old. Who knows? And you got to remember, many of the angels at this time, or demons, didn't even believe in Lucifer. They didn't even know Lucifer existed.
Well, because they
thought he was a mythology, he was a myth, he was a story that was made up.
They were humans that have just spent way too long in hell, and you lose part of yourself, obviously.
That's something that I really liked. I'm glad Ryan brought that up. That's something that in this episode, I really like that. How not even the demons were aware of angels, and then the fear that they had when
they wiped their ass.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just one. And then, of course,
whatever.
Thank you.
Wait, they come out their ass? What'd you say?
What the fuck? They blow out their ass in a fight. Play more Xbox Live, you'll understand.
Wait, is that like the shit talking you do to the 12-year-olds?
That's the shit talking the 12-year-olds do.
Oh. All right, let's get into. I think we should move into a little bit more the lore, and then we can end this.
You were
segment.
like our own Bobby this week.
Yeah,
you were like finding books and scrolling
last
through.
week. The reason why we didn't do the show 2 weeks ago is because I was trying to like gather and compile as much information as I can, that would be relevant to this episode.
So now, just so you guys know, Mike has his PhD in angel mythology.
So stupid.
He got it online through
theology schools. Theologyschools.com.
I was going to say University. I would say University of Phoenix, but whatever.
Yeah, theologyschool.com. It's a sub school from that same school that Dr. Phil went to become a doctor. Yeah, you just get a degree online within 5 minutes.
5-minute degree?
Yeah, 5-minute degree.
So. Glossing over some of the aspects of angels that we know directly from the show, some of the interesting things that Mike found through his research and that we've discovered lately was, I guarantee a ton of fans know this a little bit, but Castiel's name is actually in a spell that Sam reads in season 3.
Yeah.
The one with Bella.
Yeah.
And that river, that ocean ghost. Like he would drown people. He was killed at sea by his brother.
Okay, yeah,
the red
great
sky,
visual effects of that episode.
That one was cool.
Fantastic visual effects. Yeah,
red sky at morning.
Yes, I remember. Yes,
he says Castiel's name in that exorcism spell.
Yeah. Does he really?
Yeah,
it's a spell. Yeah. Well, it was debatable I remember for several years it was debatable. Like people kept trying to say what he didn't say Castiel. He said something else, like meaning cast out or spell or something. I don't remember exactly now. And then finally, a couple years ago, it came out. People got a hold of the transcript. I'd say 3 or 4 years ago, and the transcript read that he said Castiel. So I don't know. I don't know if Kripke had this in mind, or if he just did. You think he really did, or do you think it was just random angel names that he put together, trying to put together a spell? Because he does say
you're a writer. Yeah. Right. You have this plan for 5-year show.
Yeah.
You mention angels and how they're soldiers in season 2.
That's true.
And in season 3, right before Dean's going to go to hell, because by this point Dean's going to go to hell. How do we bring him back? An angel named Castiel.
Yeah.
You're going to throw his name in somewhere for the hardcore fans to find.
What are maybe the listeners know this, and you guys can tweet us at Crossroads SPN, or you can tell us in the chat room if you know, like, for without a shadow of a doubt, that Kripke might have said this at a convention or whatever. If that was his intention, or if it's just a throwaway that he accidentally put in there of a list of angel names, let us know. If it was Carver or Gamble, I'd be like, yeah, it was just kind of random. But you're right. Kripke did have a pretty clear, concise story.
Because if Kripke's got a plan, bro. I just can't see it.
From episode 1 till season 5, episode 22, you can see where it goes. Yellow Eye starts this with this family. Sam's the chosen one for Lucifer. They're both the vessels. Dean has to go to hell for the trials or the seals to start being broken. That whole thing is all planned out before he even started the show. Maybe not, exact phrases and episodes, but, the core concept, an outline. So I don't for a second think that he didn't have that planned.
Sparrow in the chat room says, I think Castiel up in heaven had his ears perk up at that moment, popped down and took a look at Sam and Dean was, Later, when they asked for volunteers to go save Dean and Cass is all, I remember him, sure.
I remember him. He's that one dude. Yeah, I'll go save that guy.
Yeah, Castiel sounds like Bobby's dead grandfather.
Yeah, dude. That's when Castiel's not on camera, dude. He's up in heaven drinking a PBR.
He sounds like he's from Alabama.
He's all, that Dean guy. Yeah, I'll go save that sumbitch. And then he gets down. He's like, hello, I'm Castiel.
That's Maddie says that for Kripke, he did a podcast interview during Revolution, saying that he got the idea for angels after reading Preacher before season 4. It dawned on him that they could be bad, like they wouldn't be just like clouds and greatness and everything's fine, love and
so he could have had this then.
So I do think he had the general
Kripke,
outline.
Bro. Come on,
Listen, I was too enthralled with Bella on screen, so I just
Dude, I forgot.
Can we just say how buff Jared was in this season?
That's actually one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay, first of all,
not to say anything bad about Jared now, Jared Padalecki, he's still a good-looking dude, but he was just look at his face now. He's way thin now.
Look,
well, because he lost a lot of weight after he messed up his arm.
Did I
5
not
and 6, dude?
Send a message to you guys when I'm watching the episode, dude? He comes on screen and he's got. I
and
think
then you come on screen.
Yeah, dude. POV. It was a POV.
For the Gonzo camps.
No, dude. I just couldn't believe. Like I was like, holy shit!
Yeah,
he is fucking ripped, dude.
Well, you look at him in season 1 and 2, and he still looks like a kid. Like he looks like an early 20s college kid. You know,
it's not that long ago though. 6 years ago.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, season 1 and 2. No, season 1 and 2 is a decade. So then he looks like a kid.
Yeah.
Seasons
he made
5
Dean look tiny. Dude.
Yeah, seasons 5 and 6, he is built to shit.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is to be an imposing figure as Lucifer, but also when he's soulless, like, you know, just kind of give himself a different gravitas.
Trying to earn brownie points with Ruby.
Exactly. He got married at that point, right? He needed to keep in shape.
He's like, I want to look good so I can plow this.
Jesus.
Meanwhile, after he messed up his arm, you know, apparently the guy's one of those lucky bastards who burns through weight really quickly.
Yeah.
So that's why he looks
that's
skinnier.
not really, I mean, it's not really lucky when you go from being buff.
It is when you're a fat man.
Skinny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, this is not miracle diet, okay?
No, I'm just saying.
We get you a lap band, Thomas.
I liked brunette Ruby in this episode too.
She was good.
I didn't have a problem with her. I know a lot of people hated her. I did like Katie Cassidy better.
Yeah.
But I liked her too.
The thing I liked about Ruby's switch was season 3 Ruby, and this is all based on guys and stereotypes, but bear with me. Season 3 Ruby has got this like darker biker chick feel to her.
Absolutely.
And you don't trust her for crap in the beginning of season 3 through the end of season 3.
Yeah.
Season 4 Ruby has that girl next door innocence to her.
Yeah.
And is the entire idea behind Ruby at that point that you can trust her, that she's not dangerous, that she's safe, you know. She's a friend.
Season 3 was more femme fatale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing, dude. Even when you first see her, you're like, oh, it's just some random chick that. Like they were very cool about hiding
first
that.
time, yeah.
They're very cool about hiding that in this episode where they were like, you know, oh, it's just a chick, you know, that I was sleeping with, and then later you're like, oh shit, that's fucking Ruby. Like, I thought that was really cool how they did that. I mean, that was just really well done. I didn't think she had anything to do with the plot, at all.
But getting back to Castiel and some of that stuff, apparently like Mike said earlier, Castiel was supposed to be a variant of, was it Castiel?
Castiel.
No T.
Yeah.
Although not mentioned in the Bible, Castiel is the Latin name of an archangel in post-biblical Judeo-Christian religion, particularly that of the Kabbalah. Unlike many other angels, Castiel is known for simply watching the events of the cosmos unfold with little interference.
So he's a voyeur.
He is the angel of solitude and tears.
Gonzo Kaz.
And is said to preside over the death of kings. He's often included in lists as being one of the 7 archangels and is often associated with the 7th heaven.
Yeah, I think
love that show.
Do you know the 7 archangels, Mike, since you've done some of this research? Or do you know anything about that?
yeah.
7, yes, I do.
Don't look it up.
I did know them. It was
we have 4.
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
I'm going to Google him. I want to see
Raphael, obviously.
Michael.
Those are the obvious ones. Castiel is considered an archangel in certain stories, in certain texts.
Certain ones.
All right, hold on, I'm pulling him up. Okay, I've got him.
Okay, so we got 4.
So you named
Michael, Gabriel.
I don't know.
I don't know. Gabriel, you said Raphael, right?
Yeah. Raphael.
Donatello.
Be more
Leonardo,
Italian.
No.
Stop being so American. Raphael.
Uriel
was an archangel, or based on certain texts.
Raguel.
Well, they were considered Uriel and Castiel, and there was one other were considered. They were interchangeable. There were 3 angels that were represented much of the same thing. That's why That's why I'm wondering if Kripke borrowed more from Judeo-Christianity beliefs more than straight up Christianity, because of the fact that Uriel and Castiel came down
together.
They showed up together and worked together.
The two other ones were Remiel and Serikiel.
So again, if you wanted to have it tie into real world religion,
right?
Why wouldn't you have those 2 names? The most distinct names and easier to pronounce than the last 2 there.
Right.
The last 2 were hard.
Imagine. Yeah. Well, that's writing 101 in screenwriting. You never put in difficult names to pronounce.
Dude.
Like executives will be like, what the hell am I reading?
Fuck is this?
Yeah. I'm amazed Game of Thrones got away with what it has.
Yeah.
Daenerys Targaryen?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's hot, so you'll remember that.
That's all right. She gets naked in the first episode.
The writer does that. In parentheses, the writer says, "Sorry,
she's hot.
Sorry, this name's hard to it's hard to pronounce.
We're going to call her Danny. Please don't freak out."
But hey, she's hot, so deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Dude.
And the executive's like, "Oh, okay."
Dude, if I'd be an awful I'd be an awful writer.
Like, listen, guys, I don't care about the rough draft. I don't need to read it. Just how many sex scenes are there? How many hot chicks, hot dudes with abs? That's all I care about. And I'm going to give it a green light.
Dude, I feel like I could do that job.
You know what? Ryan would be the cliche.
Would be that guy.
He's a cliche Hollywood exact right there.
Are there going to be tits?
Hey, listen, I want tits, vagina, I want dick shots, I want
All right,
Wait,
I'm gonna write up
dick shots.
I'm going to write up a list for you guys. I need this many genital shots per season, and if I don't see it, your budget's getting hacked. That's Ryan's job.
Yeah.
That's his dream job right there.
Dude, that'd be the best job ever.
Oh my god.
He would cost Paramount Studios like countless millions of dollars in like lawsuits.
You know what though? You know what? I can relate to the average man. So the average man would watch that show.
Yeah, thank you. The
It'd be the
average man is not a freaking, despite, modern day smear campaigns. We're not all pervert like you, Ryan. We're all sleazebags.
You asshole.
Sorry, I forgot sleaze bags are different than douchebags.
What am I, my mom? I just used the word sleaze bag.
Yeah, you did. What am I, my mom?
You're getting old.
Oh boy.
Anyways, you know what? We have more stuff. We can save it for a later show since we're going to be talking more about angels. We got
a lot here.
Yeah, we probably should go to a break shortly here. If you guys can talk for a moment.
Yeah,
sure. Thanks for those listening to the live show.
My show ideas that I have. No, here's the thing. I think what they really did in this episode, and for me at least, with Cass, is they changed the ball game. They changed the game. They changed it by just introducing a character.
And that's the thing is, it wasn't just a character. It was a realm of existence, a world, a deity.
But if you think about it, they just said, okay, here's this character, and he had all that extra stuff with him.
And I think that's kind of why we haven't had a moment like that since Castiel's appearance.
We haven't. We absolutely have not.
Lucifer's appearance, okay, there was, Horseman and the Apocalypse was kind of behind him, but it was a lot of like things are going bad, but we didn't really see a lot of it because of the budget necessities of television. And the Leviathans, I mean, everyone kind of feels like we're squandered with what they were supposed to be making a cattle farm of humans. I think maybe the next biggest, like, holy crap moment was the angels falling in season 8. But even then, nothing since Castiel, except maybe the darkness, depending on how season 11 goes, had that much power behind that punch. But here's the thing with a single character's introduction, bringing in that much.
Here's what makes Castiel's entrance and the Angels' entrance much, at least in my mind, just about 3 or 4 notches above the darkness, even if the darkness is epic, is angels and demons and all these things about. Most people know about. So when they say, in these seasons, in these 4 seasons, they say, okay, there are demons, they're bad, everyone hates them. But they don't say anything about angels.
Mm-hmm.
So the reveal of angels pops up, and you go, holy shit, I know a lot about angels just off the top of my head. Quotation, I know a lot. I mean,
well, what most people do.
Most people do. But then, so they reveal the darkness, and nobody has any fucking clue what it is yet.
Yeah. Well, there's not like a...
So I just I know. So what I'm saying is, like, as of right now, I still think Castiel's is one of the most epic reveals we've had.
Oh, absolutely. And like Sparrow said in the chat room, Lucifer was a big entry. Yeah, he had a great, beginning. Like his first appearance is like making that guy lose his mind with blood in the crib and coming to him as his dead wife, and he comes to Sam as Jess. And I love every single thing about Lucifer. But Castiel had just so much. The world in seasons 1 through 3 and 4 and 5 and on is completely different.
Absolutely.
All right. So with that, guys, we're going to take a quick break with a live read.
Just a live read.
So just bear with us. It's not 100% commercial.
All right, let me ask you a question. Are you getting enough? I bet you'd love more, right?
Ryan wants more.
I always want more.
Well, AdamandEve.com wants to give you more with 10 free gifts. First, you'll get a sexy surprise for her. Second, a specially selected toy for him. And third, a little something we know you'll both enjoy. Plus, you'll get 6 full-length adult movies on DVD. And number 10, free shipping on your entire order. So what do you have to do to get your 10 free gifts? Well, it's not hard. Just go to AdamandEve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy, a sexy piece of lingerie, or anything you desire. Just enter offer code RAINMAN at checkout. and you'll get all 10 free gifts. Go check out adamandeve.com today. Select one item and get 10 free gifts, including free shipping, when you enter offer code RAINMAN. That's RAINMAN at adamandeve.com.
All right, there we go. So, guys, we will be talking more about angels throughout the next couple episodes of Hellatus, so we're not done with that topic by any means.
And if you guys have any information, details you want us to discuss, feel free to pop them over to us. You can email us at mail@supernaturalthecrossroads.com.
Things we may not know even about angel lore, if you're a fan,
yes,
or if you bought that book that Mike found. That's on our Facebook page.
If you bought that book and you want me to do like a summoning, I will do it.
Live on the air?
I will do a live summoning.
Okay, that...
Ooh.
I might be into.
What if, theoretically, let's just go with it. What if
we all die live on air?
Actually, like, somebody shows up and we all have it recorded.
Well, here's what I think's going to happen.
Holy fuck, we're just screaming the whole time.
What I'm going to do?
Or what if nothing actually happens? Like, well, that was a bust, but then we go back and listen to the recording and there's all kinds of shit happening.
I would shit my pants, dude.
I'm gonna actually hire a pizza delivery guy and make sure he puts a Castiel name tag on to come to the door and be like, oh, I summoned that guy about 20 minutes ago, and he's got my pizza. His name's Castiel. Do I win?
All right.
Nothing's going to happen.
If we heard something on the tape, though, dude, I literally would shit my pants. Like, all right, I got to go to church. Sorry.
I would.
Yeah. Listen, Rain Man, I have a few people asking. Rain Man is the name of our network. Rain Man Digital is the name of the network that's this show, Supernatural Crossroads, broadcasts on, along with various other shows. Including the flagship show of the network, which is my show, the Rain Man Show, which is heard on, all over the place. So that answers that. I know there are questions to that. I had to go through this because the Weird West radio show is really blown up lately. So I had to actually take 3 minutes outside the show and explain what everything is. And basically, the simplest way to explain it is Rain Man Show is the main show. So what I ended up doing was creating like spin-off shows.
Right.
And then bringing on other hosts to do those shows. Why? Well, they're all my interests. That's why we have a Weird West show. We have a Star Wars show. We have a movie review show, and then of course Supernatural show, and then we're starting the DC show on CW. Yep. It's everything that I'm interested in, basically. Because I wouldn't have, I'm not doing a show about Supergirl on NBC because it's going to suck. I don't care about it. So that answers that. We can move on now.
There you go. So guys, in case you have missed them, we have interviews with a couple of Supernatural actors. One being, you heard a little bit of that during the commercial earlier with Nikki, was it Acox?
Acox.
Yep.
That's how she pronounces it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A.K.A. First Meg.
A.K.A. First Meg, yes.
She's absolutely great. And I know awesome. You talked to her as well. And I said this during the Periscope pre-show, that it makes me feel good. I mean, because we work our ass off in this network. We do. And I think anybody who's been along for the ride now for over a year knows, including the listeners, know how much work we put into this network. And to hear such kind words where an actor like Nikki or an executive producer of Hell on Wheels like John Worth, they absolutely have no reason to send you an email when the interview's done and say, hey, by the way, I want to let you know, best interview I've ever done in my career. By far.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I just did an interview that I was struggling to get for 6 months. Christopher Heyerdahl, which
AKA
is
Alistair.
Alistair, as well as other things in TV shows. And I got him because John Worth basically has said great things about this network. And he's trying to get everybody, including his writing staff, to do the show because they like the interviews. All that means is more interviews are coming. That's all I can say. So be prepared for behemoth interviews coming soon.
And make sure to stay with us for all that stuff. Tell people.
Yeah.
Like, if they like Supernatural, they're going to like what we've got coming up down the pipeline.
And you know what? We may not be. I know a few people have tweeted out to us that they only listen to our interviews now because our humor is a little too explicit at times. And you know what? I understand.
Explicit is
I get
fun.
that, and I understand. And I understand that, and I appreciate the fact that they at least come back to listen to the interviews and they share the shit out of them.
That's always good.
And that's good. I mean, that's all. If it's not your cup of tea to listen to, the F bomb or some sexual jokes, I get that. But help us out, share the show if you enjoy our show.
I think one of the things for me is that's not what defines us. And I think
what defines you.
Well, I mean, honestly, you guys know me in day-to-day life. It's not me. It's just kind of what I like to have fun when we're on air. But I think that's what I love about our listeners. And I always say this, it's Supernatural as a family, and we're all a family. They understand us. our really hardcore listeners and everyone that's in the chat room right now understands us. And I think that's what I really like. And I will say this, man, our interviews, I go back, those are the one shows that I do go back and listen, because I hate listening to myself. And I think, Thomas, you kind of the same way.
But
with the interviews, man, I love listening to those. We just have such a cool format. And I think the actors like that. I think the actors and writers, they absolutely love that.
Maddie just said we should bring Mills back, and we
really should.
Yeah, we will.
She was ton of
Kim
fun.
Rhodes, I believe. Yeah, we'll bring Kim Rhodes back for sure. There's been a few actors that we really connected with. Ruth, Travis Aaron Wade. There's a few other people that I don't really want to say their names because they haven't got on the show yet. That send me messages that are from the crew of Supernatural that maintain a relationship with us. So, I mean, like I said, guys, be patient. We'll keep building on this show. And all I ask for support is to share the show and tell people about it. That's all I ever expect. Just share the show. Share it. Yeah. Never think you're bothering us by retweets, favoriting, because all those favorites and retweets actually add to the relevancy on Twitter and social media.
Bother your family with how much you want to talk about us.
I mean, if I don't respond, I just don't use Twitter that much. So
you can get Ryan on Instagram, Mike through anything, and me through Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not a Twitter guy. I think Thomas is the Twitter guy, and Mike's a Twitter guy. So Instagram's my thing.
If you
if you guys have Instagram, RM Denton, that's me. So just
what is this, the plug hour now?
I know, right?
So this other show that we have come up called DCRCW.
You started that.
You did.
I was talking about interviews, and all of a sudden it becomes a plug fest.
And then you're like, I do a lot of work.
And let's not get it twisted, guys. Like, Mike likes to say that we all work our asses off. It's Mike that works his ass off. Dude, he just said it. He pushed back this show a week because he wanted to get more angel mythology, and he didn't think he had enough, which I still am kind of... You should have ordered that book, dude.
I'll get it if you do it.
We should do that.
I will. I've had 3 people in the chat room say they want me to do it, so I will
just read it
a lot. Well, I wouldn't mind reading it too.
What if the spell requires like
blood sacrifice?
Chicken foot,
and I'm going to KFC and getting some chicken feet. Homie. Like, dude, I won't play around.
I don't think KFC carries.
They have it.
Feet.
They'll have it.
Now,
I'm sure that
if they want like a cow's tongue, you just come my peeps will have that for you.
Let's go to Mike's mom's house. So, guys, the last couple things. We apparently need somebody to do transcripts for the show. Mike, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, if someone... I know I had like 3 or 4 volunteers last season during season 10 saying they would love to do a transcript on our show. Or not even a transcript necessarily, because that's a lot of work, but just kind of a synopsis of what we discussed, where the timestamps, segment times when they started.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I want to do this. I want to start putting it on our main website so that people can follow along, maybe listen to the show, and then maybe go back later and they know where a certain specific segment is at. I can't remember the names of the people, but what I want to do is maybe get 3 or 4, maybe even 5 people and just rotate them out. 1 week, one person does it. The next week, another person does it. And the reason why I'm shooting that out there now is because of the fact that I did have people tweet me saying they wanted to do it, and I can't find the tweets now. It's been, come on. After 3 days, I lose it. I cannot find it whatsoever.
It's gone then, dude.
Yeah.
And the last thing is, so people were asking about it in the chat as well. We are still doing the fan fiction contest. That's active now, Mike. They can email you. Is that correct?
Yeah, the email. I apologize. I guess the email was not even working last time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I might have added it into our server the wrong way, but it was kicking emails back. But it is working now.
Okay, and what was the email again?
Hold on, let me check to make sure.
And again, guys, we're looking for... Gen fiction is the term that I believe Maddie and a couple others gave us for generic, just kind of like your take on an episode. We're not really looking for slash fiction or any of that. If you like that stuff, Ryan is, but
I'll give you guys my AOL account since we were talking about that earlier.
Exactly, there you go. AOL account. For the purpose of the contest, we are doing just generic fiction, so make sure to send that to Mike. You got the email or no?
Yeah, it's mail@supernaturalthecrossroads.com.
Mail,
not M-A-L-E.
Right.
I was like, wow, that's sexist.
M-A-I-L @supernaturalthecrossroads.com. And in the subject, just put fanfic contest.
And there you go.
Nice.
And like I said, I'm going to try to work on getting, guest judges. We'll be reading them.
We'll be reading them all.
And then also we'll get somebody else special that will also read the final ones that we've whittled down. They'll read the final 2. and then we'll give out some prizes, and we'll figure all that out once we get to that point. But
we'll get Misha on to read the last one.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So with that, yeah, right.
Yeah,
that should be the goal.
Yeah,
right?
We'll have Ryan beat him if he doesn't.
Again,
it's too late. I've already
I was
done
gonna
that.
say.
Wait, what
round
kind of
2.
beating are we talking?
Oh, either way, it's round 2 for you.
You better read this. I'm gonna ride you to perdition.
I'm gonna ride you into perdition.
So with that, guys, that's gonna do it here for us. Again, we will be having more consistent shows. Hellatus has been all over the place.
Hellatus for us has been crazy.
It kind of has to be for some of our work schedules as well. But we do plan on having another show next week, which we will be continuing angel discussion and talking about another specific episode and what we've learned about angels in heaven and hell from that episode.
And we may start doing live shows now. Like we usually record Fridays, and we may start, in order to save time, because I'm really busy with my main show now. In order to save time, we may just do live shows from here on out. I will know by October, when the season of Supernatural starts, whether or not we're just going to do live shows Friday nights.
No kidding.
Cool.
Yeah, so
better get our A game on.
Stand by. Stand by.
Dude, I show up with a D game, and Mike makes me sound like I have an A game. So I'm actually kind of nervous.
So you need to work on that.
Yeah, I got to fucking go home and look in the mirror.
All right, guys, so that'll do it here for us at Supernatural at Crossroads. As always, check us out on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, Crossroads SPN, The Ryan Denton, Bold Irishman, Instagram, tell friends, family, iTunes, Stitcher, the Rainman Digital app, all that. Rainman Digital, Crossroads 003, and we'll talk to you guys all next week.
Later.
You little maggot. You are no longer a part of this story. Hey, ass butt.
Hey, Misha, come here. I'm going to stab you.
Where? Come here.
Have you seen
Batman?
Save it for the show.
The Whitest Kids You Know, The Rapist?
I don't think I saw that one.
No, you should check that out.
Cool story, though.
You should check that out at some point because he's like the Kool-Aid guy.
Rapist.
Yeah, he's the Kool-Aid guy, and he breaks through the wall, and the kids start screaming, and he's chasing them down the hall.
What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
What
is he called?
It's a Whitest Kids You Know skit, and he's called The Grapist, and it was their test commercial for the new grape drink. And the one CEO's like, The Grapist? There's a terrible name. He's like, what? He grapes kids in the mouth.
Oh, God.
He grapes them in the mouth? Yeah. That's what he does.
What is this called? What is
The Whitest Kids You Know.
Kind of epic.
I never heard
Rapist.
of it. You're the whitest kid I know.
I know. That's why I know of it.
And you're the brownest kid we know.
What, Ryan? You are not white, okay? No matter how hard Ryan's not white. Ryan's more urban than the kids I grew up with.
What are you even talking about?
You're urban, dude.
I'm white.
There's nothing wrong being. Listen, I grew up in an urban.
What do you mean by urban?
You're not the what up, dude? You're not the white guy. You're more urban. You sound a lot more like the guys in my hood growing up.
Yeah, like I sound like Orale Holmes and Gatos Locos forever.
Stereotypes. Just because you grew up in the hood doesn't mean you say I love tacos forever. Whatever you just said.
Well, you do. Who doesn't?
Tacos.
Is that what you just said? Is that what you just said?
I said I'm Vatos Locos forever.
I thought you said I love tacos forever. I think I like that one better.
Oh my God.
All right, hold on, guys. I got to check. I think the channel. I think the server switched over. Hold on.
Oh, did it? Ryan, check that out when you get a chance.
What am I looking for?
The Whitest Kids You Know on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
The Grapist. It's funny, but
all right, we got 10 minutes.
Oh God. Where's Maddie? I don't know. You did post the thing on the thing. I saw that thing. Did you see the thing, Ryan, on the thing? Or are you too busy with your thing?
No, dude, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but one of the race car drivers just passed away. A guy that I actually have met multiple times.
One of the race car drivers?
Yeah, he was
for what?
For IndyCar.
I'm gonna get some coffee.
Okay.
He was in a wreck this past weekend in Apparently, he just passed away.
That's unfortunate. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's.
And the mood has been brought down.
I didn't mean to be Debbie Downer there. Hold on. I'll be back in a second.
So what's going on in the chat room? How are you guys doing? I'm reading the messages live. A harem. No, I'm good, man. Thank you. I like how the Periscope now is nobody on the camera.
Yeah.
Silence on the mic.
Yeah, cool.
I was like, is this the right thing?
What are we watching? Is this like a Periscope of a mic? This is cool.
No, I know, but Ryan wasn't talking, and I was reading something, and then I realized it was silence. Yep. Ryan's typing. That name still makes me laugh.
Should make you laugh. That's the whole point of it. Oh, man. Oh, there's Mike with his coffee.
Say.
Nothing. You're for loco.
All right, guys, we're going to be going live in about, I'd say about 7 minutes. If you want to head over to tunein.com, search Supernatural The Crossroads. You can also find us on our website, supernaturalthecrossroads.com/xroads channel 003. If you want to get into the chat room and talk with some people, we have the audiences split all over the place now. So also you can download the Rain Man digital app from the iTunes Store as well as the Google Play for Android and iPhones. Obviously, just search Rain Man Digital, click on channel 002, and you can listen to the live broadcast from your mobile device as well from there.
What Mike said.
Oh, man. I kind of like just doing, like, producing.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm going to tell this right now, Thomas. If your radio station ever says, Thomas, we want to give you a live show, like, hey, you know what? Dude, say, listen, Michael's going to produce it. I won't give him a microphone. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
Dude, I like talking, but I have my own thing. Like, I would love to just have some time. Like, I love doing this show.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't all fall on my shoulders.
Right.
Because talking gets very tiring. It really does. Like during Rain Man show, like we're going on hour 2, and I'm just like,
yeah. Well, especially when you're running the whole thing.
You were kind of relaxed when you were just sitting over there for the first DC show.
That felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that felt good too. Actually.
I think you only said like 2 sentences.
Yeah.
I was like, which was, I mean, if you want to chime in anytime, I don't really care. It's just, I thought it was cool. You were able to sit over there and actually kind of
I'll probably
relax.
Talk just to kind of keep the flow going, because I think there was a few times during your test show that you needed help.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Bobby and Angelica just don't know yet,
Yeah.
but eventually it'll be smooth.
Yeah, I think...
because they wouldn't, like, sometimes they wouldn't help you, and I could tell you're just like...
Yeah.
Like, look at it like, hey, guys, laugh a little bit, or give me some input here.
I think, like, and I keep saying it, but once
Hold on one second, I got to check audio. Hold on.
You have a chest? Is that...
That's the live stream right now. That's
is that
our
my Crowley,
that's our
Crowley
bumper
impression?
What's that?
Is that my Crowley impression one?
Oh, look at Nikki Acock just signed into Skype.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
dude, call her.
So stupid. Like, hey, we're doing a live show, and I want to talk again.
Yeah, I want to.
Dude, she sent me an email and said that it was the best interview she's ever done in her career. Dude, that's the second time. John Worth said that to me. The creator, executive producer of Hell on Wheels,
right?
And then which he's been in the business for 40 years.
Yeah.
And then Nikki Acock told me that too, and I felt good, man. I give myself a pat on the back for that, because that's a big deal to me.
He gave himself a pat on his backside.
Right. Bottom of the balls.
Kind.
His bottom.
I cut my balls.
His bottom.
Maddie entered the chat room finally.
Sorry.
He does that before the show starts.
Yeah, dude.
He gets his fake farts out.
There's a lot of fart noises.
4 minutes. Hey, you know what? I want to do a Lou Ferrigno shirt.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's save it for the show. Let's talk about the shirt during the show.
Did Bob get to you about all the shirt stuff?
It's cheap.
Yeah, it's not expensive.
So it's not good. I'll be able to make a pretty good, especially if I get pre-orders. I'll just order that plus maybe double of what people want.
Right.
But I want to do a regular, professional-looking Supernatural Crossroads shirt, but then I want to do a Lou Ferrigno one as well.
You realize we still have never taken, like, shots of us.
We're going to
for this show
the same day that we do the DC on CW. We're going to do it all together. We're going.
How long is that? Because I need to know so I can try and lose weight.
I think. What are you going to vomit?
Yeah, no.
He's going to purge.
I had an ex that did that. That she was a model, and she would do right before a shoot, the night before, she would take laxative. And then she would throw up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, it's so unhealthy."
Out of both ends.
No, it's
and she
it's
would
terrible.
She would drop 12 pounds overnight.
But that's water weight. That's not doing anything.
Her stomach would be gone. Any little chub she had would boom gone.
That's true.
I mean, it's not healthy.
No. We're not talking life discussion.
Listen, kids at home, do not. That's not this. I'm not a nutritionist, and nor do I recommend that.
The pre-show, the events and opinions presented in the pre-show do not reflect on Supernatural: The Crossroads or Rain Man Digital as a whole.
Hey, look at Bobby's in the chat room right now. Too bad he can't hear us.
He can hear us.
He's not. Is he listening to Periscope?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bobby.
I'm glad Maddie has it nice outside where she is because it's hot as crap.
Yeah.
Well, I'm burnt out. I'm done with.
Are we done?
Oh, hold on.
Let's go
you
home.
know what? Hold on.
Oh, we're not done.
Thought we were going
That's our live channel, so I want to make sure everything sounds good.
Sound all right.
What is our weather? Show starting. Hold on a second.
What is this, AOL?
Mom.
AOL?
Get off the phone.
Age, sex, location.
I was halfway through downloading a JPEG. For what? I mean,
JPEG.
Yeah, dude. This AOL
from a like a swimsuit catalog.
That like printer style loading screen goes across the board.
And you had your Jergens with you. We will rock you. We will rock you. You got blood on your face.
Mike left this whiteboard here.
What's it say on it?
Oh, it's from a previous show. It's just a clock. But I want a rag so I can draw on this.
Dude, I rubbed it off earlier. It won't
oh, it's a dry erase?
It won't leave a
all right,
residue.
guys, let's maintain radio silence for a bit now. We're getting ready to go live.
Okay.
All right, if you guys are listening on Periscope, we're gonna go silent for a few minutes while the show starts. We'll be back when you hear the audio kick back in. So don't get alarmed if the audio kicks out.